Matching gift donations are one of the most overlooked ways small nonprofits can raise more money. And in this video, Colleen Carroll from Double the Donation breaks down how matching donations actually work, how to make them visible to donors, and how to unlock funds many nonprofits leave on the table every year. If matching gifts feel confusing or like something only big nonprofits benefit from, that belief might be quietly costing your nonprofit real money. Every year, billions of dollars in matching gifts go unclaimed, not because nonprofits aren't eligible, but because the systems and the reminders is not in place. And most small teams assume it's not worth the effort, which is exactly why I invited Colleen to join me. She works with nonprofits of all sizes and knows exactly what moves employer matching gifts from a nice idea to real dollars in the bank. And if you stay until the end, she has a special gift for you. Because in this video, she breaks down everything about employer matching gifts, which is where a company matches the donations that their employees make to a nonprofit. And she shows you simple steps that you can implement without adding more work or complexity to your fundraising. Now let's dive right in because the first thing Colleen talks about is the foundation of everything else. And it's surprisingly simple. If you don't know where your donors or volunteers work, you're guessing when it comes to matching gifts. This is where most nonprofits skip ahead and wonder why matching gifts never materialize. So listen closely to how she recommends collecting employer data in a way that feels respectful, optional, and donor friendly. So let's roll the clip.
All right. So the first thing I always recommend to people is starting with gathering employer data. Employer data where your supporters work is going to be the key to unlocking matching gifts and a lot of the strategy we're going to talk about later on. And the best way to do this is to actually just go out and ask your supporters. Add a field to your donation form and to your volunteer registration form asking for people to provide employer information. Now, I say that like it's all so easy. I do have a few kind of tips for how to do this in a way that's going to be most effective. First and foremost, we want to make that field on your donation form optional. We never want someone to not donate or to not volunteer because they don't want to answer that question. In that vein, we want to let people know why we are asking this question. To you and me, it might be really obvious why we're asking for employer information on a donation form, but to a standard donor that's just trying to make a $10 gift to their favorite animal shelter, they might be a little weirded out by it. They might be like, "What are you doing with this? Why does it matter? What's happening?" So we want to get ahead of that by letting them know, saying something as simple as your company may match your donation, or many companies match the donations of their employees. Let us know where you work so we can check your eligibility. It's going to increase the odds that people are going to actually provide you that information on one of these forms. And if you're wondering why I'm telling you to put it on these particular forms, there's a few different reasons. First of all, this is a moment where people are already bought into your mission. They're already donating and they're already or volunteering. And they're already also prepared to fill things out. They're already planning to give you their first name and their last name. It's a pretty good time to ask them one additional question. The other cool thing is 1 in 3 donors give a larger gift when they realize that their gift is being matched. So it can be a great way to get people to actually give more than they were originally intending to. And the other data I have there is that 78% of donors who are eligible for a matching gift may be unaware of their eligibility or how to go about the process. So they really do need these reminders on the donation form for it to click in their head and for them to remember that their gift might be matched and that they might want to give a larger gift because of that. Final piece is that it's a great way to keep your data up to date. I don't have to tell you that people are changing jobs all the time. And so this way, every time someone donates or every time someone volunteers, they are letting you know that they either work for the same company that they let you know last time, or they are working for a new company. So it's a really great way to keep that data fresh.
The next issue isn't generosity, it's awareness. Most donors who are eligible for matching gifts have no idea they are, or they don't know the process and how it works. So, Colleen explains why this is happening and what nonprofits can do to fix it. So, pay attention to her recommendations about a dedicated matching gift page, because this is one of the highest impact, lowest effort changes that you can make.
The next thing I recommend is making matching gift information accessible. $4 to $7 billion in matching gifts goes unclaimed annually. That is a huge number of dollars that could be making their way into the hands of nonprofits with fantastic missions who can do really amazing work with it. And the real reason why those dollars are kind of stuck is because of awareness. 78% of eligible donors are unaware of their eligibility or how to go about the matching gift process. And that is because 81% of companies do not include this information in easily accessible places. Maybe it's in the job listing, maybe it's on page 62 of the employee handbook, but no one's really looking at those after they're in the job for a few years. So they just forget that the programs exist. And we know that because we know people are giving, but they're not getting their gift matched. That's all kind of a bummer, I won't lie. But the good news is that because the problem is awareness, that's a problem we can solve. That's something that we can do on the nonprofit side. We don't have to wait for the company to start promoting this to their employees or for an individual employee to just one day be flipping through their handbook and realize their eligibility. We can start to do things to increase awareness and hopefully access more of these funds. All of that is my lead up to say that I really recommend having a dedicated page on your website talking about matching gifts. And ideally, that page is linked to your Ways to Give page. So on your Ways to Give, one of the options is matching gifts. And if they click on that, it leads to this page that says everything a donor may need to know about matching gifts so that you can just kind of direct people there whenever you talk about it. In terms of what to put on that page, first things first is I implore you that you explain what you're talking about when you say matching gifts. Never assume someone knows what you mean. So giving a very quick definition, saying something like many companies match their employees' donation, gets your donors in the right headspace. Because the cool thing about this form of matching gifts is you aren't asking them to pull out their wallet again and to make another donation. You're asking them to click a few buttons and do some paperwork. So we want to make sure very early on when they get to this page, they know that. Next piece is I suggest that you explain why they should do this. Someone might end up there and be like, I don't know, I give $25. Does it like really matter if I get my gift matched? You can tell them that it does, saying things like double your impact 2 times, or that matching gifts fuel your institution, or even our friends over at St. Jude have some amazing language on their matching gift page. They say your matched gift of $50 helps provide 4 days of meals for one St. Jude patient. They make it very clear that there is going to be impact in getting their gift matched. So I recommend figuring out how you could adapt something like that for your organization and for your mission. Next thing you want to do is you want to give your supporters next steps. I think we talk about this a lot in the fundraising world of like reducing friction and making it really easy for your supporters. That is the same thing with matching gifts. So giving them a step one, check your eligibility, and that could be going to their employee handbook or HR. Maybe you have a top 10 employers in your donor base where you have put on that page that this is Microsoft's program and this is Home Depot's program and this is Verizon's program, because you know that there's a solid chance that a supporter might be hopping on and working at that company and you want to make it even easier for them. Or you can consider adding a search tool there. Other things you want to put on your pages are FAQs. If someone is always coming to you with the exact same question, let's put it on that page out of the hopes that maybe they won't come to you with that question again. Big thing is putting your EIN number there. That's often something people will need in their paperwork when it comes to submitting their match. And finally, I recommend having some contact information. Let them know who on your team is going to be the person that can answer their questions on matching gifts, so it doesn't end up in the general inbox and someone who has no idea what it is has to kind of deal with it. So get it on your website. Make sure you have information about matching gifts really easily accessible.
Once you've collected employer data, it unlocks something powerful. You can stop sending generic reminders and start sending the right message to the right people at the right time. Colleen breaks down how simple matching gift reminders actually perform better than most fundraising emails and why donors genuinely appreciate them.
Next thing you're going to do if you want to raise more employer matching gifts is start to send out some personalized reminders to people. This is where that employer data that we talked about gathering earlier on really comes into play because we can have let's say 3 email streams that we use. Maybe that's going to be eligible people that we know work for a company with a matching gift program because they told us. Then maybe we have an unknown eligibility. Maybe they didn't tell us where they work, or we don't know if that company has a program. And then we can also have a stream that's submitted their match. And then that's gratitude. And we can thank them and have some emails really commending them for taking those next steps and getting their gift matched. For those first two, the eligible and the unknown eligibility of streams, we want to make sure the emails we're putting in there that are encouraging people to get their gift matched or to check their eligibility are short and skimmable. Again, going with all the best practices that you know in all the other forms of fundraising, that takes center stage in matching gifts as well. We also want to talk about why matching gifts again. Explain to people why this matters and how it's going to impact your organization. And you're again going to want to give really clear next steps. Imagine someone is just glancing at that email for 30 seconds. They need to know why it matters and what you're asking them to do. Now, I know as nonprofits, you are probably very cautious and appropriately so about adding any additional emails to your supporters' inboxes. Luckily, I have some kind of heartening data that really shows the value of sending these particular matching gift emails. We see at the average open rate of a matching gift email sent within 24 hours of a donation is 53%. That is well and above industry standard. And actually sending a second matching gift reminder email increases matches submitted by 48%. What this tells us is our supporters appreciate these reminders. They are people that already care about their mission. They have already given to you, but they are busy. And so giving them a chance to remember that this is something that they can do, that with just a few clicks, they can support a cause they already care about, is something that is actually a positive to them rather than, I don't know, a junk email that you're just sending.
Matching gifts don't work if they're hidden. The next clip is about visibility, not overwhelm. Colleen shares easy places to talk about matching gifts that you're already using. So, social media events, donation receipts, and everyday communications.
Next thing I suggest you do to raise more matching gift dollars is just start talking about matching gifts and putting things about matching gifts kind of everywhere. Again, we have that number, $4 to $7 billion is going unclaimed annually in these matching gift funds. And the issue is awareness. So let's talk about it. Let's include it in social media posts. Maybe you have a donor story about someone who always gets their gift matched and is encouraging people to also check whether they could get their gift matched. Or February is actually matching gift month. Maybe you do something really cute about a perfect match, and there's lots of little hearts and Valentine's Day stuff that you can get on social media to encourage matching gifts. I also really suggest incorporating it into your events. If you have people in the room, take a moment to remind them that these programs exist and how they can check their eligibility. Maybe have a board member go up to the podium and speak for a minute or two about why they get their gift matched and the value it has to your organization. Or you could put a QR code on the table, or if you're doing like a fundraiser, you could do it on the paddle that brings them to that beautiful dedicated page that you just created so that people can learn more. The next piece is training your team to be able to talk about matching gifts, making sure it's not just you on the team that knows these exist, but that anyone that's going out and meeting with donors knows that before they meet with a donor, they should check where that donor works and check what their program is so that they can go to the donor and explain, like, oh my goodness, if you give this gift, like it's going to be matched 2 to 1. That's going to be such a valuable piece of information for your team to have, but they likely don't have the tools yet to talk about it with their supporters. I also encourage you to look at the communications you're already sending out. Is there a place to add a note about matching gifts? Can you add a PS? Can it be at the very end of the donation receipt? As a reminder, again, 1 in 3 donors will give a larger gift than originally intended when they realize a match is being applied. So this can be a really great way to increase the size of the gifts that are coming in the door. So again, just kind of generally look at your communications. Is there a place where this can fit in? Can you add a graphic? Can you add a PS? Can there be a QR code that's going to be building awareness within your own supporter base of these programs? Because even if someone isn't eligible today, maybe they're going to switch to a different company where they are eligible, and you'll have been part of the journey of them remembering that they could get their gift matched.
To wrap up, Colleen tackles some of the most common assumptions that quietly cost nonprofits money. If you've ever thought, we don't get matching gifts, so our donors probably aren't eligible, or assume matching gifts were the only opportunity worth paying attention to, this section will open your eyes.
All right, when it comes to myths and mistakes you might be confronted with when you're thinking about matching gifts, one of the big things is assuming that because you're not receiving matching gifts today, it means that you're not eligible and no one in your donor base has that capability. Again, we have all that data that people are just unaware or they just forget that they are eligible. So, what I would suggest is starting to collect that employer data because that's going to give you the information. You're going to then be able to search it up yourself and see, like, do these companies that our supporters say they work for have programs? And that's going to really give you the information you need. That leads into a kind of another mistake I see people make, which is assuming that because someone's not eligible for an employer match, that's where they should stop. The thing is, there's a ton of other kind of corporate incentives out there for their employees. There are volunteer grants, otherwise known as dollars for doers, where a company will match a volunteer hour made by their employee with a monetary donation. So one of your supporters, for every hour they volunteer, they might be able to give you $25 from their company with the volunteer grant. That's super valuable. And if you had just stopped at looking at employer matches, you might have missed out on that. There are also forms of giving like payroll gifts. Maybe they could give a small donation monthly instead of kind of just periodically remembering your organization, or volunteer time off. Maybe they could do a mid work week volunteer shift, which is a volunteer shift that's really difficult for you to fill anyway. So I really encourage you to kind of look at it comprehensively and see all the various ways that you might be able to use that valuable piece of employer data to benefit your organization.
What I hope you take from this conversation is that matching gifts are not complicated advanced fundraising. They're missed opportunities hiding in plain sight. You don't need new donors. You don't need bigger gifts. You need better systems, clearer reminders, and the confidence to talk about what already exists. Now, Colleen has very generously offered a coupon code for the Matching Gift Academy, the first and most robust matching gift training center. It's normally $199 a year, but she's offering it to you for free. And I'm going to leave a link in the coupon code in the video description. And please be sure to drop a comment and say thanks to Colleen for sharing her time, wisdom, and coupon code with us. And if you want more hands-on help putting these kinds of systems in place across your fundraising, from matching gifts to corporate partnerships to predictable campaigns, that's exactly what I do inside my fundraising fast track. You don't have to leave money on the table and you don't have to figure this out alone. And if you're ready to keep going, watch the next video where I break down corporate matching gifts. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure that you're subscribed, and I'm going to see you next week.